In the Hobbyist Challenge Series, we pick up a new hobby every episode. We discover it, we challenge it, and we're likely to fail badly at it. In this episode, we're going to be picking up jigsaws as a hobby. Not that guy from the Saw films. Jigsaw puzzles as a hobby. We're going to apply knowledge and tips from this Hobbyist series. We're going to set challenges and we're going to discuss the experience while trying not to make fools of ourselves. Sure, everything will be fine. Jigsaw puzzles, or sometimes they're just called jigsaws, is a puzzle made up of interlocking tile pieces, which typically, once fully connected together, form a picture. They've gone through many incarnations. The original ones were hand painted, but in modern days, we mass produce them via machines and 3D printers. They've gone from simple puzzles to 3D masterpieces, but they can also be used as learning and educational tools. These puzzles have been around since the late 1700s and are beloved by a multitude of people. But can they truly be a hobby? Challenge accepted. So I don't know much about jigsaw puzzles, but what I wanted to do was go as easy and simple as possible so I don't make a fool of myself. So we've got 3 different types of puzzles. We've got a children's one, we've got a young age Marvel one, and we've got a special one as well. All right, let's go do some unboxing. So this is the first one, an easy children's jungle puzzle. It's got a 12-piece, 16-piece, 20-piece, and 24-piece. So it's ideal to get, familiar with the concept of what a jigsaw puzzle is and how to go about it. So this is probably my level of jigsaw puzzle. And all the puzzle pieces are in a single bag. So you've actually got a difficult puzzle to begin with because you've got 4 jigsaw puzzles here in one bag. So you have to find out which piece belongs to which puzzle. So coming up is an assortment of clips of me getting used to jigsaw puzzles, enjoying the experience, and not to mention some sketches we did and discoveries along the way. But I believe every journey and experience has something to teach us, but also to put the remainder of this video into actual context. But for everybody else, enjoy my journey into the wonderful world of jigsaw puzzles. That is infuriating. Alright, short break while we look for that missing piece. There's a missing piece after all that. Well, after looking everywhere, there's definitely a missing piece. How annoying. Not to mention, I've got a splinter. I think this hobby's out to kill me. And that is what the jigsaw puzzle looks like. So by the ingenious and magic that is a random number generator, we will pick 3 discussion points at random to apply to jigsaw puzzles as a hobby. So let's look at this episode's topics of discussion. Managing your time and routine, turning passion and interest or fantasy into a hobby, and being and keeping organized for your hobby. Now, these are discussions we've had or will have in our Hobbyist series. Feel free to check out those episodes, but for now, look at these topics of discussion. Surprisingly, I think my opinion on this before taking up the hobby would be vastly different from now. I would have said this is a quick and relaxing hobby, but some puzzles can take considerable time. And now I can see why people might do a puzzle over a few days or even weeks. I think sometimes with this hobby, you have to have a good idea of how long you think the puzzle will take. Now, a lot of the time, otherwise, you might give yourself 2 hours. Leave the puzzle in a location that it won't be disturbed, and you can simply start back when you like to. Now, this is an ideal hobby for slotting into a routine because it can place in whatever spare time you have, and you can still get the same fun and experience without time being a factor for enjoyment. I think this discussion point is rather interesting because although I found it difficult and still do for a jigsaw puzzle to be a hobby, do you think they can complement other hobbies or professions such as artistry? If you've got an interest in, say, the Titanic, then a jigsaw puzzle that uses the picture of a Titanic could be of interest to you. On the other hand, artists could put their creations, drawings onto a jigsaw puzzle and sell them as a means to funding their hobby or furthering their career. Now, this actually might be one of the hardest points because for such a simple and budget friendly hobby, it's difficult to organize. The pieces get everywhere, and depending on how many puzzles you invest in, they can take up so much room. My advice, stick to a few puzzles and see how you like it. From there, you can note if you want to get more. But ensure the first few puzzles that you use are your baseline, how much space, time you need to actually do the puzzles. Because trust me, you will run out of space quickly. And remember, you need a flat, large surface to actually do jigsaw puzzles. Just make sure you've got the space because some of these jigsaw puzzles are very large. This episode's challenges will be the time attack and the face off. In the time attack, I will try and beat the best time for a puzzle. In the face off, me and the challenger will complete a puzzle, and the fastest time will get a point. Then we'll start another puzzle and we'll keep going for a best of 3. So, we're going to move on to the time attack. Now, for this, I've been a bit of a coward and I'm going to choose to do the children's puzzle. But we're going to do 3, and that's all 3 of them combined is going to be our time, and then we're going to try and beat it. We'll do the best of 3 and see how well we can do. Rules for this are that I will have sorted these puzzles into each one of them. I've not sorted the corners, edges, or anything like that. I will have the box to hand, but the conditions will remain the same. Trusty timer. Well, let's do this. Seven minutes and 3 seconds. Oh, that's not good. Okay, so we are doing 3 attempts at this, but let's face it, the first one's always the warm-up. Let's clear the timer. Attempt number 2. Let's do this. Okay, so that was 4 minutes 29. Okay, so for the third and final attempt, I'm changing my technique a bit. I'm not going to sort. I'm just going to go straight in for it, and hopefully we've clearly improved our time exponentially with that, technique change. So let's give it a go. So, alright, third and final attempt. Let's go. I don't remember what the time was. Come on, down to the line. Stop. 4:15? What was the 4:28? So we beat it. Let's meet our challenger.
Round 1. Fight! KO.
Have so many memories as a child of doing jigsaw puzzles with my mum. It was a budget means of enjoying ourselves on rainy days. No matter where you went, you could put a small puzzle in your bag just in case the weather forced you inside. Let's face it, I live in Britain. It's going to happen. I have fond memories of doing these puzzles, but never did I think to pick this up as a hobby, collect them, or even challenge myself. But the more I engaged in the hobby, I got so competitive with myself, I just didn't want to give up, even when doing a logo puzzle. It was 50% black tiles. I kept going, and the end result was so rewarding. Seeing that finished piece felt so good. Now, although getting competitive was fun for me, it was rather short lived. I think if I had to explore it more, I would look into the 3D versions or every now and then pick up a puzzle and challenge myself to go against the clock once again. This hobby truly surprised me, though. It was an amazing experience, and if anybody does this as a hobby, I'd love to hear from you. It doesn't have to be on our podcast if you don't want to, but I would be curious if there are those out there that could give me insights into jigsaw puzzles as a hobby or as a collector, as this experience has truly made me curious. Now, I still stand by the notion that topics we discuss can be applied to any hobby, just sometimes you need to look at it from different angles. If anything, I really enjoyed the random aspect of the discussion topics because it really puts the knowledge and understanding to the test, but also a proof of concept. I didn't know what to expect when I was writing the script and the concept for this very first episode. A part of me was curious what challenges we could do when it comes to jigsaw puzzles. If anything, this thought process made things even more exciting because I already had a mindset of not seeing jigsaw puzzles as a hobby, not to mention something I would pick up regularly. So it was a challenge to find the challenges for this hobby. Challengeception. I think I went with the timer type because I was curious how my approach to doing jigsaw puzzles would pay off or not, when time is a factor. I found out very quickly that organizing a puzzle in that way was beneficial if you're doing an extremely large puzzle, but I lost so much time when doing the smaller ones. But this was another lesson learned along the way. I take away so many things from this first episode, and that's the greatest thing. These episodes can offer me a chance to experience and learn from a hobby. I never would have considered to doing this in my life, but yet such a joyful experience. Okay, so what I've learned from this is experience, I'm not very good at jigsaw puzzles, but I didn't need to be in order to enjoy myself. Not to repeat myself, but I think this is showing that the concept is working for me. I'm so glad that I was able to share this with you. Now, let's face it, my completion times being destroyed in the face-off challenge was simply due to me checking audio levels, lighting, and framing the shots. There's no other possible reason why I had such poor performance at all. I wanted to thank my partner Christy for helping me with these challenges, not to mention defeating me so rather easily. I respect Chrissy's wishes not to be overly represented in my content, but doesn't mean I can't thank her for the support she's offered me and the courage mustered to take part in this content. My last takeaway from these challenges has to be that making certain hobbies that you saw as an individual undertaking, then adding other people and concepts really adds a whole new layer to enjoying your hobby. Alas, it's not for everybody, but maybe something to try with a hobby down the road. Maybe tell me about some of your multiplayer hobbies in the comments section. I can't wait to see what future hobbies and challenges we'll come up with in the future episodes for the challenge series. My list of hobbies is really extensive, but if there's something you specifically want me to try out, let me know in the comments, and maybe your idea just shoots to the top of our list. Now, you'll get bonus points if you can figure out a creative way to do challenges for that hobby, as I wish to be inspired by all of you in the community. I will be working ever so hard on this series because it's a true passion of mine. If you think of anything additional we can add or adapt, please let me know. I've already got maybe 80 hobbies lined up to look into, explore, and challenge myself. If you want to see the next video, don't forget to subscribe and turn notifications on so you can be reminded when the next episode goes live. Little insight, we're going to be taking up yo-yoing as a hobby. That's not going to go well. Right. This is the first video in this series, so please bear with me as we get used to the formatting and editing of these, as it takes a lot of work to do it on my own. Leave your feedback in the comments, and if you have any ideas on how to evolve jigsaw hobbies, I want to hear from you. Any suggestions, questions, or advice, please get in touch as we build this community. I hope you found this video entertaining and informative. This channel is devoted to my special interest of hobbies. This series will put my interest and devotion and my sanity to the test. So go set yourself a challenge in your hobby. You might want to check out these videos and playlists first. See you in the next hobby challenge. and in the comments section. Yeah,